She had everything the world could offer: fame, fortune, and the voice of a generation. But behind the stage lights, behind the smiles, she was hiding a painful truth. She didn't leave because she stopped loving the music. She left because the price of staying was far greater than anyone ever knew. The girl with a voice from the sky. When she was born in the cold of April 5th, 1950, in the small Swedish city of Jönköping, no one knew that a legend had arrived. Agnetha Fältskog was a quiet, tender child, more at ease with melodies than with people. Her father, Ingvar, was an amateur showman, putting on local productions, and her mother, Birgit, a pillar of quiet strength. Music filled their modest home. Little Agnetha would sit for hours at the piano, fingers hesitating, eyes closed, coaxing out the songs she could already hear in her head. At just 5 years old, she wrote her first song, a simple melody about two tiny birds in love. It was innocent, sweet, pure, like her. But behind the sweetness of small-town life was something colder, an ache Agnetha never spoke aloud. Even as a child, she battled a feeling of isolation, a longing for something, somewhere, beyond the gray skies of Sweden. And so she dreamed of stages, of songs that soared beyond the treetops, of escaping the invisible cage life had already begun to build around her. By teenage years, Agnetha was fronting a local dance band, singing American hits with a Scandinavian twist. Her beauty was impossible to ignore. Platinum blonde hair, icy blue eyes, a voice that was somehow both trembling and unbreakable. By 1967, she had her first Swedish solo hit, Jag var så kär, I was so in love. The song's aching vulnerability captured the heart of a nation and the attention of a man who would change her life forever. Björn Ulvaeus. Love, fame, and the beginning of the curse. When Agnetha met Björn Ulvaeus in 1968, it was more than fate, it was chemistry, wrapped in innocence and ambition. Björn was already a rising star in Sweden with his folk group, the Hootenanny Singers. Agnetha, shy but fiercely talented, captivated him instantly. He admired her voice. She loved his mind. It was a storybook romance, the kind their fans devoured. In 1971, they married in a wedding broadcast across Swedish television. The nation celebrated their golden couple. But beneath the smiles, a quiet unease grew. Rumors whispered that Agnetha's shy nature clashed with Björn's outgoing spirit. That fame, already nibbling at their edges, would soon devour the little privacy they had left. By 1972, Agnetha and Björn joined forces with another couple, Benny Andersson and Anni-Frid Lyngstad, and ABBA was born. Their rise was volcanic. After winning the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974 with Waterloo, ABBA exploded into an unstoppable global phenomenon. In less than a year, they became one of the most successful bands in music history. And Agnetha? She became a symbol, the golden girl with the perfect voice and the $1,000,000 smile. But behind the scenes, the cracks widened. Whispers began to circulate. That Agnetha was difficult, that she hated touring and refused to fly, that she suffered from near-paralyzing stage fright, forcing the group to arrange grueling travel schedules just to accommodate her fears. It wasn't diva behavior, it was anxiety, real, crushing, terrifying. While her voice conquered stadiums, her heart hid in hotel rooms, counting down the minutes until she could return home. By the late 1970s, ABBA was everywhere. Radios, televisions, sold-out stadiums. But inside the band's glittering empire, everything was falling apart. Agnetha and Björn's marriage had grown cold. Fame had changed them. Exhaustion had broken them. And life on tour, away from their daughter Linda, had crushed what little hope remained. In 1979, they announced their separation. Fans were devastated. The world had believed in their love, believed in their music. But Agnetha? She had stopped believing a long time ago. It was during this painful time that ABBA released one of their most haunting songs, "The Winner Takes It All." To this day, rumors swirl that the song was Agnetha's true heartbreak set to music, that Björn wrote it, but it was Agnetha's soul bleeding through every lyric. The winner takes it all, the losers standing small. She later admitted that recording the song was brutal, that she wept in the studio, that she poured every ounce of betrayal, regret, and loneliness into that one unforgettable performance. Audiences wept with her, but few realized they were witnessing her real goodbye. Escape into isolation. After ABBA unofficially disbanded in 1982, Agnetha retreated from the world. She tried her hand at a solo career. Albums like Wrap Your Arms Around Me and Eyes of a Woman received praise, but Agnetha refused to promote them heavily. The spotlight was no longer thrilling. It was suffocating. Rumors erupted again, that she was hiding because of a fear of aging, that she suffered from crippling depression, that she had become a full-blown recluse, avoiding even her own family at times. There was also a darker rumor, one that Agnetha would confirm much later. She had been stalked for years by a Dutch fan who harassed her, pursued her, and violated the fragile peace she desperately fought for. The trauma only deepened her need for distance. She bought a secluded home on the island of Ekerö, west of Stockholm, and disappeared from public life almost completely. In her own words, "I was tired of being observed, of being a product. I wanted to be a person again." A fragile return, a final gift for decades, Agnetha remained an enigma. Fans speculated about her health, her loneliness, her regrets. They begged for her to return, but Agnetha chose silence over spectacle. Then, out of nowhere, in 2013, she released A, a studio album filled with gentle, bittersweet songs reflecting maturity, loss, and fragile hope.
You still look the way you used to. Every dream I ever dreamed was lost until today.
The world gasped. Her voice, though deeper and seasoned by time, still carried the same heartbreaking purity. Interviews were rare, appearances were limited. She made it clear, this was not a comeback. It was a final gift. Agnetha said, "I do not want to live my life in the past, but I am proud of it." In 2021, ABBA reunited virtually for the Voyage project, digital avatars, new songs, a dazzling hologram concert. But even then, Agnetha stayed in the shadows, her voice and image on display, but her soul still protected. The legend who walked away. Today, Agnetha Fältskog lives quietly, far from the screaming fans, the flashing lights, the false promises of fame. She is often seen walking her dogs along empty Swedish roads. She gardens, she paints, she sings, sometimes for herself. To many, she is still the girl with the golden voice. But to those who truly understand her story, she is something far greater, a survivor, a woman who chose herself over applause, who walked away from a world that refused to see the human behind the icon. Her legacy lives on in every shimmering ABBA song, every broken-hearted lyric, every moment when music makes us feel less alone. Final words. The winner takes it all, but sometimes the one who walks away wins the most. In loving memory of a legend who never truly left,